Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I am Arni Sukma binti Hajari, want to present my final year project. The title is The Influence of Extrinsic and Intrinsic Motivation Towards Student Academic Performance in UNIMAS. The introduction is to study the two types of motivation, that is extrinsic and intrinsic motivation, that influence student academic performance. According to McCormick and Tiffin 2007, extrinsic is those that are external tasks of jobs such as pay, work, condition, fringe, benefit, and in terms of student, it will be trophy, certificate, appreciation, money, and present. Intrinsic is reward term of psychological motivation, that is receiving appreciation, opportunity to use one's ability, positive recognition, being treated in caring and considerate manner, and in terms of student, it would be excellent awards ceremony. For the problem statement, the topic is more focused on how the extrinsic and intrinsic motivation give the influence on student University Malaysia Sarawak in the term of their academic performance. Next it is about which of the motivation are more give an effect toward the student academic performance. The research question is, what is the influence of extrinsic motivation toward student academic performance, and what is the influence of intrinsic motivation toward student academic performance? Who is more to extrinsic motivation? How the both extrinsic and intrinsic motivation affect the student academic performance? The research objective is to determine the relationship between extrinsic motivation and academic performance. Besides, it is to determine the relationship between intrinsic motivation and academic performance. The significance of study is between the lecturers and the student. The scope of the study is among the students in UNIMAS and from different faculty. It is suitable to target students because the respondent needs are from students. It is easy to collect data. The definition of the key term. The extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation was a motivation that occurs when we are motivated to do something or to engage in the activity because we want to earn reward or to avoid the punishment. For the intrinsic motivation was a motivation that occurs because we are motivated to do something or to engage in the activity because of our own sake and not because of external reward. For the academic performance was described as the outcome of the student in their education. Academic performance can be measured in terms of GPA, CGPA, and in terms of their graduation rates. The literature review. From the motivation and its theories, it shows the process that account for an individual, intensity, direction, and persistence of effort toward attaining goal, and it was a process that starts with a psychological or physiological need that active a behavior or a drive that aim of a goal. From the Cherry 2020, extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation that have different definition from each other. From the Ayub 2018, behavior that is driven by external reward such as money, fame, grade, and praise. This is the other literature review in my FYP. It's from the Cherry 2019, Daisy 1985, Kirika 2015, Moldovan 2014, and the Ode 2018. The concept of independent variable. The independent variable also refers to the variable the experiment changes or control, and it is assumed to have a direct effect on the dependent variable by McLeod 2019. The independent variable for the topic is extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. This both motivation is the thing will influence the dependent variable, that is academic performance. The dependent variable is the variable that being tested and measured in experiment and is dependent on the independent variable. The Adam-Binding theory that I use in my final year project is the self-determination theory. Self-determination theory is a macro theory that explains about the theory that are the people motivated to grow and change by the innate and universal psychological needs. The research hypothesis for the hypothesis 1, there is a positive influence on academic performance when students have extrinsic motivation in their learning process. For the hypothesis 2, there is a positive influence on academic performance when students have intrinsic motivation in their learning process. For the methodology, the ways or process to collect the data and information for the research study include the research design, the population, sample size, the sampling technique, and the data collection. It includes the instrument and measurement that contain survey format, operational definition, and distribution on the questionnaire. For the research design, the quantitative research methodology that is cross-sectional survey design, questionnaire to generate data, and the location is at the Unimas Kota Samarahan. The population is at the Unimas Kota Samarahan and randomly select the student in the Unimas. The sample is from the student and from the different faculty. The sampling technique is survey will be given through WhatsApp, FB, or any other social media that can reach the student in Unimas. The data collection is given some times to complete the questionnaire that will be sent through Google Form medium. Students that are willing to answer the question in the questionnaire were expected to tick or to circle the appropriate choice. The collected by the researchers through the response is through their Google form. The primary data. The researchers will acquire the primary data through distributing the questionnaires to the targeted respondent. The secondary data. The secondary data is the evidence to support the finding of the study. They collected the relevant online journal article through the online database from different sources that were related to the study. The unit of the analysis is the ordinal scale and the interval scale. The ordinal scale is referring to the ranking and the ordering of data without actually establishing the degree of variation between of them. And for the interval scale, is quantitative measurement scale where there is order the presence of the zero arbitrary, the difference between two variables, 5-Likert scale. The research instrument is questionnaire divided into 4 sections. Section A is demographic and section B, C, and D is about the dependent variable and independent variable. Descriptive analysis is the process of transforming raw data to a form that can be easier to understand. It is to calculate the mean, frequency distribution, the percentage distribution of demographic information provided by the respondent in the section A of the questionnaire. The statistical analysis is used by SPSS version 20. SPSS is a software which was commonly used by the researcher in analyzing data collection. Consists the variable view, data file, analyze the data, the checkbox of the median, mode, mean, type of chart, and the output. Now I want to analyze and present my data. The descriptive analysis from the demographic feature. In section A, 6 questions were asked to the respondent. The questions are about the age, gender, marital status, level of education, faculty, and their current CGPA. This is for the age. The highest is from the age 19 to 22 with the percentage 33.80% with the frequency 68. And for the lowest is from the age 27 to 30 with the percentage 2% and the frequency is 4. For the gender, the highest is female and the lowest is male. The most status by the respondent is single with the 98%, with the 197 frequency, and the merit with the 2% with the frequency is 4. For the education level, the highest is for degree with the 95% and the frequency is 191. And PhD is for the lowest with the 0.50% with the frequency 1. The highest faculty is FEB with the 53.70% and the lowest is faculty Seni Bina. The highest CGPA from the student is 3.5 and above with the 42 frequency, and for the lowest is 2.49 and below with 0.5% with the frequency is 1. This is for the reliability statistic that tests for the independent and dependent variable. The Cronbach alpha shows 0.746. This is the Pearson correlation. The variable was for the student perception on relationship extrinsic reward of student and student performance. The apology is for 0.799. The student perception of intrinsic reward and its relationship with student performance is 0.155. This is for the perception of influence extrinsic reward on student academic performance. The research question is the extrinsic reward influence the student academic performance in UNIMAS? So, there is a positive influence on academic performance when students have intrinsic motivation. Therefore, the hypothesis is accepted. And for the student perception toward intrinsic reward on student academic performance, the research question is the extrinsic reward influence the student academic performance? And for the hypothesis is there is no positive influence of the intrinsic reward to the student academic performance. Therefore, the H202 is accepted. This is for the hypothesis testing. Hypothesis 1 is accepted and for the hypothesis 2 is rejected. For discussion and finding, this is the hypothesis. H01 shows the result with the accepted, H02 shows with the result rejected. For the limitation of the study, the target respondent was conduct, and for the sample, research were taken at UNIMAS campus only. The recommendation for the future research is to widen the range of the respondent and make the observation with the larger representative sample. That's all from me. Thank you.